It's recording. Okay, so I can see your email. Okay.
See, I tried to expunge them.
Okay, so it looks like you did it. Oh, okay, so those are your expunge results, but you weren't able to expunge them all?
No. So if
Okay.
I go to,
All right, let's go back to the search and search on the project, which was the May 2019 supplemental for 14.1.3.1, I think. There we go. Okay. All right. And I'm not sure how many is that how many you had total?
123, no, we have 180 something, and we
Okay.
are missing those 3 items. But
Okay.
now I have everything. The group, the names and the types are all
Okay.
according to what.
Okay. So do me a favor and scroll up to the top of the screen, and at the top of where the fields that you can choose at the top left, there's one that says include an active task, and there's a little checkbox right above. Yeah, there you go. And then hit search or enter again or control S, whatever. All right. So the reason I had you do that was I just wanted to make sure that there are only 123 tasks left from that project, because if some things were put into a final purgeable status, they wouldn't show up in the search unless we check that box. So let's go to the batch page again. And I think the part that you probably didn't remember from, and I don't blame you because you haven't been doing this that long, from uh, our first meeting where we did the cleanup, you can't expunge the tasks unless they're in a final purgeable status first. So the first thing we have to do is put these in a final purgeable status of some sort. So you're going to click into the status field there in the drop down, and we have a status of completed old project. You could use that, or you can just, I would actually use deleted, because deleted, we kind of use that for mistakes, things we bring in accidentally. Sometimes people convert the same file twice by accident or whatever. So
Right.
we're going to put it in this deleted status, and we're going to, I'm assuming everything is coming in assigned.
Yes.
So you don't need to worry about that, because that's the other thing. There's two rules. You can't put anything in a final purgeable status unless it's assigned to someone, and you could do it at the same time if you wanted to. And you can't expunge tasks that are not in a final purgeable status. So now we're going to select all of the tasks, click the select all button at the bottom, and then we're going to save, and we're going to apply this change of status to all of these tasks and put them in a deleted status. So go ahead and click save. And once that's done, okay, then we can expunge them and blow them out of the database and get rid of them. Okay, so now we're going to select them all again. Yep, and then we're going to choose expunge. And when you did it the first couple of times, you see there's a little, it's not right or wrong, but see that little checkbox where it says create summary task.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily need that. It's there if you want to, and it defaults to do it. What that does is, if for some reason it says it only expunges 100 out of 123, you can go and look at that summary task and figure out which ones didn't get expunged, and why. So, but you don't really need it, so you can uncheck that box, because it's just going to create another task on your list, and
Mm-hmm.
then hit expunge. Okay. And now it says in the results, right above the list, it says 123 tasks out of 123 successfully expunged. So now if you go back to the search page, and again, just to remind you, when you run a search, your results will stay there. So even though you've expunged these tasks, they're still showing up in your search results. But if you hit search again, go ahead and hit search again, you end up with 0, okay? And that's what that box checked at the top, which would only find them if, because they were in a deleted status, it wouldn't find them unless that box was checked. So now we know we got rid of them all. And you said you have updated all your task types to the required names. So I think we can go back to the import Excel page and try this again. Okay.
But uncheck this include inactive tasks, right?
Yeah, you can, or you can just clear, because we're not, we'll come here and we'll run a search. We can choose the project again. Either way. All right. So let's go to interfaces. Yep. And go to import Excel and click on our template. Now it's up to you whether or not you want to update the request date to today, because that's the day we're actually converting them, or if you just want to leave it on the 5th, it's fine.
I don't think we need that. I don't think we need to do that. That's fine.
Okay. The only reason I sometimes tell people if they want to do that, it does provide one other way to search for things. Again, if you made a mistake, you're like, oh, I know I did this on the 9th, so I can search on everything that was requested on the 9th of September. But anyway, I don't think it's all that important. Yeah. If you're going to want to do it, you're going to want to save again to make sure you save the change to the template. And then your project is correct. So we're going to go and browse for that spreadsheet that I sent you. It's the May 24 supplemental. Okay. And then when you click convert, it's actually importing, not converting, but whatever. And then click the refresh button. Okay, then you're going to have to scroll down and find it. And this is looking good because you can see it's kind of pausing in the middle of the import, but so far it's showing that things were converted into tasks. So click on refresh again. All right, so now we have a message that says, out of 186 rows in the spreadsheet, only 1 row was rejected. And that could be because it may have been for a module that you don't use, in which case you wouldn't create the task type for it because you don't want it. So was it clinician mobile server?
Something like that could be. I might have a printout.
Okay. And then, I always tell folks, after you convert
the help docs with it and check it out.
Yeah. We can check that against the assistance document and make sure you got the right numbers based on the modules. I'm guessing that's so if we go in here in Stream Task, if you go to the reports tab, we can run that A1 report on the project, and then we can see how many tasks we got for each module. Okay. So just choose the project. All right, and hit enter or submit query. Okay, so yeah, I'm not seeing clinician mobile server, so I'm guessing that's the one. Okay.
There is clinician mobile server here.
Oh, there it is. Oh, is it, maybe it's
patient supply charging.
Well, it's got to be one where there's only one.
Right.
Yeah, you got direct messaging, you got fixed assets, job stream clinical, no job stream. Were you supposed to have that?
System services on the bottom.
Oh,
Oh, no, we have one.
yeah. You don't, I'm not seeing job stream clinical in the report. And there is one work item for job stream clinical. So let's click on your task list quick, because for the conversion, remember it creates, I didn't write the number down, but it creates a new task for and it's probably the one with the highest number. It looks like you have things
right here.
Yeah, the one on the bottom. Okay, it's got today's date on it. I'm on the screen I have here. I have a hard time actually reading the print. So double click and open up that task, and then we'll click on the attachment, and it will tell us exactly which row was rejected. And it's row, it says 88, but it really means 89. So if we were to open up the spreadsheet and look at that, I'm guessing that was the row that had job stream clinical. So it's possible, if that's something you need. Yes?
I think so, yes.
All right. So, well, we have a couple options, and it's up to you what you want to do. We could expunge everything all over again, make sure the task type name is correct, and reconvert it, or we can copy and paste and create the task manually. Which,
let's try that. I want to learn how to do that.
Okay. Because so
Sponge, the whole thing, I know how to do that. We just did that. I'm gonna have a video.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so what we're going to do is, instead of converting it in, we're going to create the task manually using this information from that row in the spreadsheet. So if you have the spreadsheet open, find row 89 in the spreadsheet so that we can copy and paste, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a blank task. All right. So if you click on in the ribbon up at the top, there's one of the options in the task menu is create. So in the burgundy ribbon, you're going to click create, and it's going to give you a blank task. All right. So you're going to go to the spreadsheet, go to row 89, which should be for the module clinical, job stream clinical, and you're going to copy the title out of the first column.
You mean from column C?
Where is the title? Is it in column? I'm not looking at the spreadsheet. The title of the task should be in column A.
Column A.
Yeah. Gotcha. But you know what? Yeah. Well, you can do that. Go ahead and do it. You're going to just copy it and paste it into the title field. And when you build a task manually, you can copy and paste. You can type it all in manually, however you want. But every field with a blue asterisk next to it is required. So when you fill in that information at the top, every task you create has to have a title. It has to have a requester. That's the requested by. That's you. It's got to have a work group, a task type, a priority, a status. Okay. So you're going to copy from the spreadsheet, put in the title. You're going to choose yourself as the requester. Okay. It's best to fill in the fields top to bottom, left to right. So you're going to choose yourself in the requested by. The drop down, it's going to have all those names in there. You're going to choose yourself. The work group is very important. You're going to want to build, because when you choose a work group, some customers have multiple work groups. The work group will filter the task types. Now, do you have a task type for job for job stream clinical. Let's click in your task type dictionary. You do. So click on job stream clinical. I'm guessing, and we'll address this in a minute. I'm guessing the issue is, yeah, job stream there should be no space in between. So,
that's why
so
I fix it.
yeah, you can fix that later. But
Yeah.
for now we're just going to choose it. Once you edit the task type name, it will be updated here and everywhere else. All right, your priority is your default. You're going to click in the priority field, not it's to the left. Yep, and that's your default. It automatically put in the assignee based on the task type. Okay, so Susan is the auto assignee, and you can choose the project, which is the project or the release that we're converting. Okay, and then you can go back to the spreadsheet, copy what's in column D, the release notes, and paste it in this request description editor. Okay, and then you could space down if you want. I think you put the description in, so at the end you could put a couple spaces at the end there to separate it a little, and copy the description from column F, paste it in there. Okay, and then you can go and copy that little divider if you want to, where it says steps to test, or you could just type steps to test : and then space down and then copy column H. What's in that cell? So for most of the time for Paragon updates, people are not going to be creating tasks manually because you're converting, multiple tasks from multiple modules all at one time.
Right.
But you do have the ability to build tasks manually for other reasons if you want. So some customers create some kind of a task type around defects, and they actually use stream tasks to track defects that they find.
Okay.
So, so that might be a reason to create a task manually. Because, okay, we found a problem, we're going to open up a task in stream task connected to this project so that we can document what we found and keep track of it here. Okay, so now you're going to want to save the task. You can either click on the save button or do Control S. Okay. And then it gives it a number, and where it gives the task a number. So now this is task 6446. Okay, so we have now created your first manual task. All right, and then when you save again, because the way your task types are set up, it's taking you to the time. It's taking you to the time log, which you don't have to do. Okay, so you can see the task that you've created manually. It looks pretty much like the other tasks that were created, during conversion. Okay, so now we have that one. So before we go any further or try to convert the other file, it's up to you. You can either edit. I would like you to make sure you get your task type updated so that it doesn't happen again. I'm guessing it's the hyphen. Because for whatever reason, it's the logic that's used for conversion.
In the Excel file, I can see that job stream is one word, and I had that.
Okay. All right. Very good. So for all the job stream modules, that they're going to be one word. It's very literal. Like I said, if it's off by a space or a different kind of hyphen, or that's why I've been trying to tell people, I think your best bet is to copy and paste from the list. Right. That way you don't make some, but the nice part about making mistakes in stream task is, number one, you learn from them, and number two, you can always fix them. So
Right.
now if you go, let's go to the report and run the report again and make sure now that you have all 186 tasks. And then the next thing I'm going to show you, which may or may not be helpful to you, is how to save a report. Okay, if you ever want to save a report so you don't have to keep choosing the criteria over and over again, I'm going to show you how you can do that. So yeah, you would go to up top a couple lines up where it says save report. Nope, on the left hand side there where it says save report, it looks like above where that star is. There we go. So if you click there, can't hurt to go ahead and click. What you would do is give it a name and then save it. So we can do this just as practice. So just call it. You have to put it in that field up above. All right. You don't have any yet. I don't know why it says shaded task list, but you can give it a name. Okay. And then click that save button. And then it's going to take you back to the report. Now, next time you come into Stream Task, instead of having to go click on reports, click on the A1 report, choose the project. If you go to in the ribbon there where it's at the left-hand side underneath where it says Stream Task on the far left, it says saved. If you click there, then there's your report in the list, okay, and you execute it. You click on that little arrow where you execute it, and there's your report. Okay?
Gotcha.
So if we go back to the saved reports, click on saved again. I'm not sure. There's a report there that somebody saved. I'm not sure it's something you need. It's from 2017, it looks like. So this is probably something that somebody created from a past update project. Right. So if you wanted to, you could just delete the report. So if you click on saved again, and where it says delete, you can just delete it. Okay. Now, this is the other thing that I wanted to show you. Well, there's a couple things. Number one, I wanted to talk a little bit about your custom region. I wanted just to take a quick look in there. So if you can go back to like run the search on the project again. All right. And let's just run the search and just open up one of these tasks. I want to take a look at your custom region. Just want to familiarize you with it and see if there's something we might want to change. So double click on any one of these tasks and open it up. Okay, now and again, you said you never used Stream Task before?
Nope.
Okay, so here's a little more education for you. Now that you're in the task, okay, you're still on the task tab, but you've opened up a task from either your list of assigned tasks or something you ran a search on. When you open up a task, you'll notice on the left-hand side, you now have these tabs. And you start out, you automatically go to the request portion of the task, and then you can go to the progress or the solution. If you click on the progress tab, you'll notice that everything at the top stayed the same. And that's because where those standard fields are, it's always visible no matter where you are in the task. You can always see and edit those fields if you have the proper permissions to edit the fields.
Right.
Okay, so below the line now looks different than it did on the request description. The request description is the documentation that came from the vendor that tells you what the change is about and how to test for it. Okay, on this page, this is where folks document their testing. While they're testing, if they see an issue, they take a screenshot, they can attach it where it says browse. You can upload all different kinds of files. If you put your cursor over that browse button, it will show you all the different kinds of files that you can attach to a task. Okay?
Okay.
Um, then below that, directly below that and above the progress notes editor, where people, that editor there is where people can document what they did, you know, what went wrong, you know, or they can do nothing at all. Part of that is the culture, what's expected in terms of your testers. Do you only document by exception? In other words, if everything works, we just complete the task, but if something goes wrong, you better document what went wrong, okay, kind of a thing, which is
Right.
a very common practice. Document by exception. If things work, just complete them and go on your way. If they don't work, you better tell us why not, what you saw, and all that kind of thing. But this custom region in between, these are fields that someone at your hospital built and attached. They created these fields, and then they created a region, and they attached it to all of your update management task types. All right. The URL is a link. It's a clickable link. And if you click on it, it takes you to the McKesson customer portal. The problem is, right now, this product is not a McKesson product anymore. So what it did was it opened up a tab in your browser and you can just close it. So what I think you need to do, or we need to do, is we need to create or edit this URL to make it go to the Allscripts website. Does that make sense?
You're right. Yes.
And before we do that, though, you have a couple other custom fields which are very, very common for update management. To the right of that is where custom people, they could say you were working the task, you found an issue, you can click on the website, go and open up a service order with McKesson. So there's a field to the right that says SO number. So without even leaving the task, you can go open a service order, you get that number, and you put it in that field in the task. So you know what service order is connected to this particular work item. And all of these fields, except the URL, are searchable. So then you also have a custom field where you have people indicate whether or not this is new functionality, yes or no, or whether or not a workflow update is needed, yes or no. You could create all kinds of queries. They could be a drop down, it could be a yes or no like these are, could be a free text field like the service order number is. You could have queries, things like, is there some kind of go live activity that needs to be done? Does retraining need to be done? If so, what kind of training? It's completely endless, the queries that you could build for your custom region. I'm not saying you need to build any more. These are what people used before, and they're probably familiar with them. But I do think we should update the URL, and then with Allscripts, what do they call it when you open up? Is it called a ticket or a? Do you know?
Case number. Case number.
Case number. Okay. So instead of saying service order number, we'd say case number, right?
Right.
All right. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and this is the great part about this. The region, the fields and the region are already built, and they're already attached to the task type. So you don't have to do that part. All we're going to do is go and change the URL and update it so that it actually goes to Allscripts website and says Allscripts. And we're going to update the service order number field so it says case number. And then everything on every task will then be updated. Okay, so we're going to go to the menu at the top. There's a tab that says CDR up at the top near the right, and that stands for Customer Defined Region. This is, again, it's custom to your hospital. When you get in here, you have a list of regions, and you only have one. So you're going to, if you wanted to look at that region, you would double click on that. It's called pre-live issues. It's down near right there. Just double click and open it up. And this is where you build the region. In other words, you say, these are the queries or the custom fields that I want to put in my custom region, and this is where I want to put them. And just so you know, the way the region is like a grid. It's like a 2-column spreadsheet, basically. You have infinite numbers of rows, and you can put things on the left or on the right. Okay. You can also have some of your fields, if appropriate, on the request portion of the task, and some on the progress portion, or all in one place or the other. For update testing, generally your queries for your custom fields are going to be on the progress section, because that's, again, where people document their testing. Okay. So what we're going to do is, we're going to change some of these custom fields. To go to the fields themselves, or to build new fields, you click in the burgundy ribbon at the top where it says Fields. These are the individual queries. Okay, so right now you have 4 queries built here. You're going to double click on the first one that says McKesson Customer website. Double click and open it up. Well, you don't really open it up. You populate the fields. Okay. So the first thing is, we're going to call it the label. The field label needs to be not McKesson, but it needs to say Allscripts. Okay. And you can just say, and I don't know if they call the customer portal, or if you just, I don't know what they actually call the Allscripts web page.
Hold on.
And you're going to want to get the URL as well. So if you want to go there and actually get the URL so you can copy it. Allscripts Central. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So while you're there, okay. So you can change the field. You can change the field label to Allscripts Central, or whatever you want to call it, whatever makes sense to you.
I think you just leave it Allscripts customer service.
Yeah, whatever. Or customer website, or, you know, I think people will know what that means. Okay, and then below that, where it says list information, that's where you actually put the URL for that website. So you need to delete the URL that got you to McKesson, and you need to copy the URL. Okay. The only thing is, I would when we copy that in there, we'll try it out. I always caution people to, if there's any extra junk at the end of it, to get rid of that.
I'm gonna delete that.
Okay. All right, click it in there and paste it in. Yeah, and then you can go to the end, get rid of the junk. All right, and then now that we've updated those 2 things, we're going to click Save at the bottom. So we haven't created a new custom field. We've just updated one that existed. Okay.
Right.
The next one we're going to update is the one that says SO number. So you're going to click on the 3rd line. It's going to populate the fields. And all we're going to do here is we're going to call it case number, which makes more sense because that's what Allscripts calls it. And then we're going to save. Okay. Before we leave this page, if you could just click clear, I just want to show you some of the options. We're not going to create anything new, but where in those fields at the top where it says field type, I just want you to click in the drop down for the field type just to see. Okay, so you can create a field, which is what the label is, a radio button, which is like yes, no, red, green. You know, you have 2 options. You could have a drop down with a list of things people could choose from. You can have a plain text editor, a URL, a multi-value. You could have a drop down where people could choose multiple things, or you can connect it to a dictionary, like a department dictionary, where you'd want, if it was appropriate, to have people choose department affected or something like that. So those are all the options, just so you know, that you have for building custom fields. Okay, very good. So now let's go back to the region. So if you click in the ribbon where it says region, this is very important. When you make any kinds of changes to the fields or the region, you have to redeploy. Okay, so there's a button at the bottom that says deploy. If you don't deploy, then the changes don't quote unquote take. I mean, they're still there, but you just have to come back and deploy. So click on the deploy button at the bottom. All right. And then let's go back to the search and open up one of those tasks again.
Did it already happen?
Yep. It doesn't like change the screen or anything, but so
Okay.
let's go back to search, and I just want to we just want to verify that the changes have taken place. So open up any task, go to the progress tab, and now it says all scripts, customer service, and case number, and let's just check the link and make sure it actually works. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, I guess it just opened it up on a different tab.
No, this is me. I was trying to see why it didn't read it.
So for some reason it didn't work?
Nope.
Huh. All right, well, let's go back to the CDR and go back to fields and click on the URL.
Let's plan on that. I will try to keep it simple with the understanding that, I mean, if we run over, I mean, people may have to. Oh, okay.
Maybe you do need all that. We'll try copying and pasting again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you'll huddle around somewhere. Okay. That's fine. And my intention was.
And then save. And then let's go back to the regions page and deploy. And then go back to our search. Try it again.
Yep.
There we go.
The whole was needed.
Okay, very good. Yeah, a lot of times when you go someplace, it adds all this crap at the end of it, and it can make things go kaflooey. But anyway, all right, very good. So what do you think about that?
Oh, pretty cool.
All right, so let's go back to we can close this, yeah. Let's go back to the task itself, and I just want to show you a few more things quickly. So again, no, to open the task up again, any task. I just want to show you a couple more things in the task. So the request description, this is the documentation from the vendor. The progress tab section, that's where you document your testing. The solution tab, you can click on there. This editor gets used more for people that use StreamTask for request management. Somebody requests a new hire. This is when everything gets completed, this is their notes on the solution or whatever, how things turned out, whether it was approved, denied, whatever. But you're probably not going to need this editor, but you can see at the very bottom, it always tells you who the last person that edited the task was and when. Okay. The projects tab, and this is something else I want to talk to you about because I think this will be really helpful to you. If you click on the projects tab, every task, when you convert it in, you create it. Like I said, we encourage you to bring everything in under a separate project so that you make sure you get exactly what you need for that release. However, no matter how many releases you're loading, you know that you really are only working on one update project. I like to call it your umbrella project. So you guys are going to 14.1.3.1, whatever. Okay, that's your overall project. So what I usually encourage customers to do is to create another project that's like your umbrella project that you can add to all of your tasks as an other project. So where the project field is at the top, underneath there's an other projects field. So what you could do is you could go and run a search on each of the releases that you've uploaded, find all those tasks, and batch add the other project that's kind of your umbrella project. So you could call it your Paragon update to 14.1.3.1. Even though it includes all these sets of release notes, it's one big project. And when you do that, the nice thing about that is you can run that report when you get everything loaded and you've checked everything individually. You can then run it on the umbrella project, the other project, and see the total numbers for the entire upgrade. So in other words, you don't care that there's X number of tasks for accounts payable in this release and 5 in this one and 10 in the other. If you're somebody who has to be testing, or you're looking at your module that you're responsible for, you want to know how many tasks total. So
Right.
if you create this umbrella project and then you batch add that other project, you don't replace the primary, you just add the other project to all of them. Then you can run that report on the umbrella project, save that report in the reports tab, and then you can go, as you're working through the update, you can go and execute that report anytime you want and see exactly where you're at for the entire update, module by module. You'll see how many tasks you had, how many were completed, and what percentage has been completed by module for the overall project. Okay.
So can we do that? Because I like that idea.
Okay, so let's go to the projects. Now you wouldn't want to, you could add another project individually, but you're not going to do that for hundreds and hundreds of work items. So you're going to want to utilize the batch feature. So first, let's create a project for this umbrella project, this overall project. So you're going to go to your project dictionary. And like I said, usually you want to call it something like Paragon update to 14.1.3.1 or whatever it is you're going to, no matter how many bazillion sets of release notes you have to get in there in order to test all the changes.
Yeah.
Or you could call it Paragon 14.1.3.1 upgrade. Whatever makes sense, that this is the entire upgrade project that we're working on, right? You're going to attach it to the work group, you're going to enable it, and you're going to save it. All right, so now let's go back to search, and we can do this on this project. This is our May supplemental. So we have all the tasks there, all 186, right?
Right.
We're going to go batch. We're going to go take them to the batch page. And there's a field to the right of your cursor right there which says add other project. Again, you're not replacing the primary project. You're adding an other project. It's at the bottom of your list there, that Paragon upgrade. Select all. At the bottom, you're going to hit select all because you want to apply this to all of these tasks and then save. Okay. Very good. All right. So now if you go back to the search, page, okay, now the search you ran was on the primary project 14.1.3.1 May supplemental. But if you want to find, once you get this batch update done to all of these separate projects so that they all have this other project, you could run this on the other project, or if you look at the project field, you could choose that. It's going to be at the bottom of the list. Okay. And then to the right, you are able to choose whether you're searching on the primary, the other, or all. Now, just for ha-has, you can choose other, but if you leave it at all, it's going to find it. So I just want you to see this is a different kind of project. Okay. So you still have the same 186 because they're in two projects. Okay. Now, let's go run the report on the other project and save it. Now, when you run the report on that project, this is important. You choose the project. There we go. And then here, this is important. See, it didn't find anything. Look in that little where it says edit in parentheses to the right. See right above your cursor where it says project type, primary, other, either. For the report, you have to indicate, if you're looking for an other project, because it's not a primary and it's never going to be. This is your other project. So you're going to choose other and then hit submit query. There you go. So far, for the umbrella project, the only tasks that you have tagged that way are these 186. But if you save this, if you go over and do save report, like we did before, and you could call this the same thing. You could call it the Paragon 14.1.3.1 upgrade. Or you could call this your status 14.1.3.1 upgrade status report, whatever you want to call it. And then if you save it, as you batch update the other releases and add this other project, this report will be updated every time you execute it with the additional work items. All right.
Oh, so I don't have to go and do it again and again.
No, but you will have to, so let's run a search on one of those other projects that you already loaded before today. So hit clear and then just choose, start at the top, start with the 14.1.1 December supplemental. Run a search on that. Again, right now it's only in one project, the primary. You go to batch,
right.
And then add the other project. I just want to show you at least for one. Add other project. And choose that one at the bottom of the list. Whoop, no, that's already the project, the primary project. You want to add your umbrella project to it. There we go. All right, select all and save. Now let's go and execute that report you just saved again. The report. Just go to the report and go to saved in the burgundy ribbon. No. Click on saved. And then I want you to execute that report. Yep, the bottom one. All right, so now it's got 240 work items in the umbrella project because you had 186 from the May supplemental and however many were in that December supplemental. So it's adding them all up. So by module, you can see the total number of work items you have. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, so that other report that you saved that was just for the 14.1.3.1 May supplemental, you probably don't need that saved report. You're probably not going to want to save a report for every individual release that you bring in. As I said, it's important to run the report and check the numbers, but once you got what you wanted, batch, update, add the other project, and this report, every time you run that status report, it's going to be updated so you should end up with grand total of all the work items that you guys have to test for the upgrade. Okay?
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
All right, so with that said, I know you're going to need to update your job stream task types to make sure they don't have that space between job stream.
I'll take care of that.
And then are you comfortable with going and updating the template for the new project and then importing the August supplemental?
I think I should be fine. I want to try it on my own.
Okay. And just so you know, there's no job stream work items in that supplemental, but you still want to make sure you update that.
And I want to correct it because, when we get our work items in the future, so they're struggling again.
Very good. All right.
And
any other?
I have one question.
Yeah.
I added some users. I forgot how to update my in
the task types or the?
Yeah. The task types already. I did a bunch of them, but
you mean get them into the work group?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a dictionary. That's your work group dictionary. So click on your work group at the bottom, your Paragon testing work group. Just click on that line. It's got a lot of people in it. Click anywhere in there. And then find those new people on the right-hand side where it says all members. You find somebody, use the single right arrow to bring them over.
I was trying to do that, but I don't know. Maybe I wasn't waiting enough. Or... All right. Thank you. Single right arrow, right?
Yep. Yeah, if you do the double arrow, it pulls everybody over.
Right.
All right. Well, you know what it is? It's all those disabled users that are showing up as these little hyphens. It's very so who did you
I got
you got it?
Yeah.
All right, but
Francisco.
then
Yeah.
don't forget to save though. Once you
Yeah.
pull everybody over, make sure you save. And then when you save, they'll be added to the list that gets highlighted in blue.
Yeah. I was looking at just the dashes over there, and I said, like, man, I know I'm trying to do it right.
You know what we might try?
Uh-huh.
Well, hit save first before we, and then click back on the work group. Try this. Try clicking on the right-hand side, your sheet, on the right-hand column where the hyphen is. Try clicking on the hyphen. Just click there and do the left arrow, single left arrow. So I think you could actually do a multi-select, like hold down Control and click on all the hyphens. Like you're highlighting all those. Will it let you do more than one at a time? It should. Maybe not. There we go. And then we'll do single left arrow and pull them out of the work group. And I think that'll make it look better. And you won't have to scroll so much to find whether or not these people were added. Just make sure you don't highlight a person.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to go slow.
And we're almost there.
Almost.
All right, left arrow. Okay, go. All right, much better, right? Now you got a bunch of things on the left. I'm gonna have to get in. If you don't mind, I'm gonna try jumping in there later today and see if I can do a better job of cleaning up. Make sure you save. Oh, well that looks better.
And I'll do is I'll add the other people. You know, I have like 7 other guys. I need to add them.
Yep.
I'll add them. So, and if you go a little later, like give me like 10 minutes or so, I'll push everybody on this side and save them. So.
Well, it actually looks like it's okay. I don't know what it did with the hyphens. If they're still going to be in there based on, I think
probably not.
I think
not there.
I think it's probably technically a bug that when what person has been disabled, it puts the hyphen, but so it still looks like there's somebody there, but as soon as you pull them out, it goes away.
Cool.
So I think if in terms of process, if I were a user, if I were you, I'd say, I'm going to pull people out of the work group before I disable them so that doesn't happen again. So, I mean, it's just a matter of what you do first, right? So anyway, that looks much better. Okay, so I don't think I even need to go in there and look at anything. I think you're doing great. But if you have any questions, if you have any problems, let me know. I'll send you a follow-up email just to kind of remind you a little bit of the process. I think you're all set. You're all set for your custom region. You should be good to go. Okay.
Yep. Appreciate all your help. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. That's what we're here for. And I did record this, and I'll stop recording it, and I'll see if I can get Greg to put it on our YouTube channel for you, okay?
Sure. Just send me the link, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'll let
Talk
you
to you later.
go.